Buncombe County officially has its first confirmed case of monkeypox.
As News 13's Anjali Patel explains, this virus can impact anyone, but it's impacting a certain population disproportionately.
On Thursday, Buncombe County confirmed its first case of monkeypox. Health officials are urging folks to get checked, tested, and protected. With COVID-19 still very much present in our community, another virus emerges. But unlike the coronavirus, it's far from novel.
One thing to note is that we do know a lot about monkeypox because it has been around. It's unlike COVID, where we didn't know very much about it at all.
It's spread through skin-to-skin contact, having contact with an infectious rash, and through body fluids or respiratory secretions.
If you have bumps, sores, or a rash that might look like blisters or even pimples anywhere on your body, we need you to see a healthcare provider.
And while anyone can be affected and infected, the Buncombe County Health Director says there's a population that's making up nearly all the cases North Carolina has seen thus far.
In this particular outbreak, we are seeing disproportionately impacting our men who have sex with men individuals and transgender individuals.
She says anyone who falls under those categories and has had multiple or anonymous sex partners in the last 14 days, as well as anyone who's been exposed, is eligible for a vaccine.
As of yesterday, we have administered over 60 doses.
It's a 2-dose shot, the second dose due a month after the first. Buncombe County has received about 520 doses to date, about 100 of which they've distributed to other providers in the region, acting as a hub. Vaccine supply is limited now, but more is on the way.
Depending on the course of the outbreak, we may see other groups become eligible.
Now, the county health director says it's typical for the county to notify the public of a first case for a communicable disease, but she says it's not typical for them to update the public on each individual case they may confirm moving forward. She says you can find updated monkeypox case counts on the state health department and CDC's websites.
That's the biggest issue right now, is just the debris still.
Nearly 1 year later, the cleanup from the catastrophic damage caused by the remnants of Tropical Storm Fred is still happening.
News 13's Andrew James spent the day in Crusoe. Volunteers are there helping families who are still impacted by the flooding that devastated parts of Haywood County.
When you drive through Crusoe, you can see a lot of progress has been made over the last year, but there are still areas where the debris piles continue to grow and families still need support.
We'll be praying for you. Thank you for letting us be able to come help you out.
Volunteers with Baptists on Mission are finishing their work at Ronald Hanna's house in Crusoe.
I've never seen water come through here like that day. I mean, I was scared, I'll tell you.
He's lived here for 75 years and still is dealing with the after effects of the flooding from the remnants of Tropical Storm Fred last August.
All my tools and stuff was over there and it just knocked that door down, washed, it's a mess.
Until Friday, he still had piles of debris and flood damage in his yard. Baptists on Mission making that their task for the day.
We have a passion to love on people. These folks are hurting.
Linda Pittman with Baptists on Mission spent her morning helping with cleanup near Camp Hope. The volunteers will be at 34 different sites this weekend, doing what they can to help clear debris that's been here for almost a year.
Meet these homeowners. They're precious, and they just need a little extra love, and we're the people to give it.
Crusoe is strong. We are going to recover, but we still do need outside help in order to do that.
Bridget Robertson is also volunteering. Last year, she lost a home in the flood and says this is her way to say thank you to the community that supported her.
Today is a day that we can actually give back, because while we were down and everything was going on, the church fed us every single day.
Baptists on Mission will be out working all weekend, and they are still looking for more volunteers. If you're interested in helping out, just stop by Crusoe United Methodist Church for more information.
Republican State Representative Mark Pless is raising eyebrows with his latest campaign effort. Pless taking to Facebook to raise funds with a gun raffle as the nation recovers from a string of mass shootings.
News 13's Samir Nefsi spoke to the leader who represents Haywood, Madison, and Yancey counties.
Representative Mark Pless tells News 13 his latest campaign effort has nothing to do with a political stance, rather an effort to appeal to his voters with something they can relate to: hunting. His campaign fundraiser comes as the nation recovers from the nearly 360 mass shootings reported this year alone.
$10 buys you a chance to get a weapon that you could never afford to buy.
The representative offering up hunting and handguns in his latest re-election fundraiser.
I've enjoyed the work I've done so far. I think I've been very successful, especially with flood relief and some things to the counties that I do take care of. And I have really been able to make a difference, I feel, and I'd like to continue that work.
On Facebook, the first-term representative publishing this post for a gun raffle.
I have raffled guns before. I have raffled ammo before. There's been at least 3, I believe, prior to this one. There's a reason there's not an AR in there.
His post catching some off guard and raising concerns as Washington lawmakers' effort towards enhancing gun reform. Online, one person wrote, "Hey, this is cool," with another commenter questioning the safety of the raffle, writing, quote, "Wonder how guns get in the hands of wrong people?"
People are always going to criticize. You're never in this society going to get 100% of the people to agree with you any of the time. That's just one of the way these things go. And all I would have to say is if they don't approve of guns, don't buy a ticket.
Plush says safety remains at the forefront of the event, explaining winners must be legally eligible to purchase a gun in order to win the drawing.
Yeah, it is pretty common. So we've seen politicians doing that for years. So we've seen it for a while, and we're seeing it even in this America that is, still a little bit rattled from the last shooting. This is probably a pretty safe bet for Mark Pless. I don't think this is going to lead to, the end of his time in office, and he may raise a few bucks.
Cooper explains that Plush's conservative district, where gun culture and individualism remain at the top of voter concerns, it mirrors that of the national stage, where mainstream candidates flaunt the right to bear arms.
It's in the Republican Party. 2022, I expect we're going to continue to see, gun culture being a primary part, sort of the central part in some ways of the Republican Party.
There's nothing in front of us that we need to address as far as guns are concerned at this moment in time.
Raffle drawing will take place on August 27th at a Republican candidate event in Maggie Valley.